But when you lose an election that you know you won by millions of votes, if I didn't think I won the election, I would have never done it a second, because I would have lost. In other words, I would have lost. I ran because I won the election, and I know that that's what the people want. They want what you and I are talking about right now. They want strong borders, and they want good education. They want all these things that we talked about. And we're going to get it to them, and we're going to get it fast. Probably the hardest problem, the biggest problem is nuclear and the weaponry, and we have to keep out of wars and all that. But the hardest problem for our country is the millions and millions of people that have been brought into this country, that have been dropped here. Many of them should not be here. They're really, really bad people from the jails, from the places. And you know what's going to happen? You'll take 10 out, and you'll have one where it's a woman with a couple of kids, and you're going to have the news say, oh, look at this, how horrible, how hard. It's a very hard thing to do, but we have to have the news say, oh, look at this, how horrible, how hard. It's a very hard thing to do, but we have to have the largest deportation effort in the history of our country. Dwight Eisenhower had it very early on because he was one that wanted strong borders.
But you're not against immigration.
No, I'm totally for it. But
we need it.
I think we need it desperately. But I don't want their prisoners, and I don't want their people from mental institutions, and I want people to come in legally. I want to let people come in. We need it. We do need it. We need people. But we need good people. We need people that aren't going to blow up our shopping centers and kill people.
Let me ask you two areas I want to talk to you about that's going to be different, because I'm different, so let me be different. You have a personality-driven platform, just like I do. Mine's a fraction of yours. You've taken every shot you can imagine. You've been criticized, attacked, called every name in the book. They've turned the judicial system against you, the intelligence community. 51 intelligence officers swear that this is a Russian plant, this laptop over here, right before the election. The media has turned against you, print, TV, radio, internet, in the streets. Not campaigning Donald Trump, just real Donald Trump. How do you deal with that stress in your most private moments?
So,
he always looks different.
2 things. Number one, I don't like thinking about it. Out of sight, out of mind. I don't know if that makes sense to you. I don't want to think about it. Number two, I have tremendous support. I have the people's support. I think if I didn't, I wouldn't be able to handle it so easily. When a judge who has conflicts like nobody's ever had wants to put me in jail, when he puts a gag order and say, if you talk about these things, we're going to put you in jail. And I'm the Republican candidate. I was president. I'm leading the Democrat by a lot. He wants to put me in jail. I like not to think about it. It's like they say, oh, don't eat that food, don't eat this food, don't do this, don't do that. They don't really know. It might be good for you. It might not be bad. It might be good.
That's fucking true.
They say it causes cancer. I say, don't talk to me about it. I don't want to hear the word. I don't want to. It's out of sight, out of mind. I think I have a very good disposition for trauma. But I have great support, Phil. The one thing is, because you mentioned lots of groups, and you're right about that, but I also have great support within the media. You know, there's a group of people in the media. You might be one of them. You're a very important force. The fact is...
FBI alert, China attacks, critical U.S. infrastructure, national security reports, China's attacks on critical U.S. electric grid, food supply and water systems. FBI Director Wray warns China has successfully gained access to companies throughout the U.S. in energy, telecommunications, water, and has targeted 23 pipeline operators.
I've watched you so long, I just felt so confident when you called us. You know, it was, what do I have to subject myself to it for? It doesn't make sense. But I find it to be a very different and very interesting, it's a psychological interview that you're doing too. You're sort of being my psychiatrist, and maybe I could use a psychiatrist everywhere. So, no, it's pretty cool. But I try not to think about, I try not to go into that. And very importantly, I have tremendous support. I have support from the people. You look at the polls, and they agree with me. There's sort of a silent majority. You know, it's a term that's been used over the years, but it's a true term. I have the support of many more people than they have, if we call they the bad guys. And I think if I didn't, or if I felt I didn't, I would not be quite the same person.
You know, we all have a personal truth. You know, it's that what we believe about ourselves when we don't have our mask on, when we
Right.
don't, you know, I put on a nice suit. You know, I'm going to see the president here.
Nice suit,
I want to be credible.
Looks good.
And we, we put our best foot forward when we step out into the world. But we do have a personal truth.
All right, time to play
what we
some
believe
games.
about ourselves at our most vulnerable, when nobody's looking, nobody's listening. Maybe it's 3 o'clock in the morning, we wake up looking at the ceiling, thinking, what the hell am I doing? What do you say to yourselves?
Just in time.
The enemy has been effective. They now control more sectors than us. They are hitting Alpha 1.
Providing fire support.